Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Is Kazuha still worth using in 2023? What change did he appear since his last known rerun? How does he fare in the game now? Is he still worth playing to this day? Is he worth getting when he gets another rerun? What's his roles? There are so many questions, and I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability. And since Kazuha is going to be getting a rerun in 3.7, I felt like making this video again, just like I did with the Zhongli one 4 months ago, on what you should consider about Kazuha in this stage of the game. And I am going to be going for C2 Kazuha because I'm looking forward to his C2 since it's one of the best, and I will cover more on that later down the line. So, let's get right to it. Oh, and before we get started on this, I just want to say, if you guys do truly enjoy the content and you guys like what you see, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That will be greatly appreciated. Help me reach over 700 subscribers real soon in the future, and I appreciate all your continued support. And knowing how the Zhongli one was so well received on my channel, I hope this will be the exact same thing for this video, because obviously these ones are really well informative. I do have a lot of fun making these for you guys. So yeah, please like and subscribe if you guys do enjoy, and I appreciate all your support truly. Alright, let's get right to it. Now, to summarize Kazuha in probably the fewest words possible, I'll say one thing. Best crowd control dealer, without a doubt. Okay, well, Venti might still be the king of crowd control, but Kazuha is probably more widely used than Venti because of his amazing kit on how he scales off of EM and how he's able to buff your entire team's elemental damage. I always say this with, in my honest opinion about Kazuha being a more offensive-oriented crowd control slash support character because of his amazing swirl capabilities and his bonus elemental damage buffs based on the elements he swirl. And he's more widely used because he's able to give you more value for your team, although there are some instances if you compare to other characters such as, let's say, Venti or Sucrose for crowd control aspects, as they all share different outcomes, which I'll get to that later down the line. Now, primarily, the #1 focus for Kazuha, for every Kazuha player or soon to be haver, is to always focus on his elemental mastery all the time. The second objective of his focus would also be energy recharge, because you would also require to use his burst most of the time for bonus swirl. Now, the reason why I say is EM is because you're going to need to make full advantage of his passive talents, and that's one of his major important factors to put into that. Now, weapons-wise, there are multiple options of what you could use for Kazuha. If you're more into the free-to-play aspect, you can use Iron Sting. But if you're going for gacha weapons, I would recommend using Favonia's Sword if you want more energy recharge. Or you can use something like some of the other event weapons. The Tokubu Shigori is another good one for more EM. Sack Sword if you don't have C1 Kazuha, so that you can refresh your skill if you're lucky. And if you have his best in slot weapon, I would recommend Freedom Sworn. Now, the #1 priority for artifact sets for Kazuha is obviously 4-piece Versus Venerer, and the reason why is because of the amazing 4-piece set bonus that it provides, and Kazuha is one of the best characters to take full advantage of it. To make the best usage for Kazuha, I would recommend going all EM on set artifacts, as well as trying to have the highest amount of EM possible for your flower and your fetter as a subset. So if you're able to get like lucky rolls on your artifacts with a lot of EM with other subsets including energy recharge and then some additional crit if you want to benefit his own damage, then that's what I would recommend. But obviously the #1 priority will definitely be elemental mastery. A second priority would probably also be energy recharge as well, but I would definitely recommend elemental mastery first if you want to make full advantage of Kazuha's buffs and passive talents that help support your team's elemental damage and synergy capabilities. If you're a previous Kazuha owner, and if you want to prioritize some constellations for him, I would try to recommend at least going to C2 to continue boosting his support role, which is considered to be his best role. 3 and 6 are kind of unnecessary, but if you want to get them, then you do you. For talents, I recommend leveling up his skill and burst. Skill first, most likely. Now, the reason why I mentioned you need to build a lot of elemental mastery is because of his second passive talent, where every single time Kazuha does a swirl reaction, he will provide an elemental damage bonus based on the element he swirled and also based on his EM. And it's going to be worth a lot if you build a lot of EM to him. Kazuha not only excels in crowd control, but he also excels in exploration. He is one of the characters in the game that can actually use his skill in midair, whereas most characters will have to only use their skills when grounded. So if you want to go for long periods of gliding like here, Kazuha is your best go-to. Comparing Kazuha and Venti together, both of them have aerial traversal skills, and you can tell the high difference between both Kazuha and Venti. Venti's more on the updraft end, whereas Kazuha is basically also updraft, but if you ever wish to plunge and do damage, you can. Now to team comps. Obviously, normally if you want to run multiple animals, obviously you gotta pay close attention to the animal resonance, where if you can basically be a lot more fluent and a lot more freedom when it comes to your movement and how much skill usage you can have if cooldowns are really affecting you. Kazuha in team comps are well known to be part of hyper carry team comps. In this comp I'm going to show you is a Raiden hyper carry, where he alongside Zhongli and Bennett are going to be assisting the main damage dealer Raiden for, you know, let's say hardcore content like Spiral Abyss. Obviously, Kazuha is yet again another great support to run. He does synergize very well with many powerful team comps. Most of the time, I would recommend running Kazuha on, you know, Vaporize or Melt comps. But Vaporize is probably a lot more common because Kazuha could provide a lot more value by providing a lot of elemental damage bonuses thanks to his swirling reactions. Most of the time you would normally pair Kazuha with Bennett a lot in this state of the game if you're going to be using both of them together, such as like if you're going to run, let's say, Aizo Vaporize or Yormia Vaporize or even Hu Tao Vaporize, then there's also that to mention out. Obviously, best to pair Kazuha and Bennett together, and then you can put your two other characters of your choice to fit them if you ever need a lot more fluency and synergy for your teams. So if you want to pair Bennett and Kazuha together, feel free to do so. Honestly, Kazuha can be paired with any element that, you know, reacts with Animo. Obviously, creativity and character customization or team customization is entirely customized to you, so feel free to explore around and, you know, suit Kazuha to fit like whatever situation comes your way in Genshin Impact. The creativity is all yours. And now to bring out my verdict, as we are now reaching the end of this video. Is Kazuha still worth using in 2023? Personally, it's an instant yes! And I'm pretty sure a good majority of people will also say the same thing as well. Kazuha is yet again, as I mentioned before, one of the greatest animal characters by far in the game, and possibly one of the best supports that is always worth getting to your account, especially when he will continuously buff all your favorite elemental damage DPS characters to the max. Ever since his debut in 1.6 and how most people used to think he was going to be so bad, well, how the mighty have fallen, didn't they? That being said, now people will obviously had suffered a giant treatment of, you know, regretting not to get Kazuha ever since people skipped him back in 1.6. I'm one of the lucky recipients that have got him back at 1.6, and I've never regretted ever like letting him go. He alongside Zhongli are some of my favorite characters by far in this game, and Kazuha just makes a lot of my favorite elemental damage DPS characters like Raiden, Aito, Yormia, Hu Tao, and so many more do the best amount of damage to their ability. Obviously, Kazuha is, again, as I mentioned, a more offensive-oriented crowd controller character, because if you had to compare them to, like, let's say, Sucrose or Venti, Venti's all about the energy gain, Sucrose is all about the bonus elemental mastery buffs, so, like, more on the reaction side, but Kazuha basically buffs a lot of your elemental damage, which has always been my go-to on what I want to, you know, go for, because I love to value a lot on elemental damage, especially with the footage here. I value most of that a lot, and most of the time I would prefer doing, you know, support Kazuha, but there have been a couple of instances, if you've been fans of my channel, seen some damage showcase that I've did. C6 Kazuha is probably something that I wouldn't recommend you going for, unless if you're someone like, let's say, Sorazhi, for example. Also, shout out to Sorazhi when I thought about making this video. If you ever want to go for a C6 Kazuha, I'll leave a link to the damage showcase Kazuha in the description if you want to go take a look. But DPS Kazuha is also pretty fun to do, but obviously the universal best thing for every Kazuha player and, you know, haver and wanter is to go support, because that has been what Kazuha's greatest strengths by far, just like other supports such as Zhongli and Bennett, for example. Obviously, he's part of like the Holy Trinity, and he's indeed a meta character because Kazuha has been getting through so much usage in the game. He's just universally really good, and he continues to do his job pretty well. regardless of like how much you can build him, if you compare him to like any other crowd control character in the game, he will do his job very well. And he is one of the best crowd control characters to date. And honestly, he's worth getting in 3.7, as I will go for his C2. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys do enjoy, thank you guys all so much for watching. And if you do enjoy, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That will be greatly appreciated. We are on the road to 700 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you guys sticking around these videos and streams. Definitely means a lot. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your morning, your evening, your afternoon, regardless of what time you are watching this. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And the moment I'm uploading this, it is indeed Mother's Day. So yeah, happy Mother's Day to everyone that is celebrating it with their families. And for the people that are looking forward to getting Kazuha in 3.7, I wish you guys all the absolute best on his rerun. So yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. And if you guys do enjoy, let me know in the comments below on which character I should probably do next based on what I own. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you all in the next video, everyone. Peace out and take care.